I want to stop on a serious note for just a moment here before we bring in Dave Samson and sort of explain to you what the merch store means to me and the story behind the merch store and why David Samson is being called here, because I needed his help with some business things. I don't know how to do business. And so he's running the merch store now, and the merch store debuted. And keep in mind the merch store, what it means to me, so that I can explain it to the audience. And it's the place, like, I'm not for sale, right? Like, I don't do commercial reads for anything ever for 20 years. And Stugotz does them and makes all the money from being our sales branch.
For sale, yep.
Our sales branch. And the merch store is where my brother's art resides, and Angel Resto has been trying to run it for many years. But I'm going to explain to people what it means to me before we bring in David Samson here, because I got, like, really pissed off this weekend, like hurt and mad because it's just such a small thing. So
Dan's Emotion is brought to you by our Miller Lite event at Dolphin Mall on December 11th. It is confirmed. Titans, Dolphins come out all ages at the Miller Lite stage at Dolphin Mall, Vivo, Miami, December 11th. And it's all brought to you by Miller Lite and Dollar Shave Club.
Thank you, Mike. The merch store was never meant to be anything other than at Disney. They had their brackets for where producers could get and whatnot, and they wouldn't allow me to keep paying people with my own money.
Eye on the ball.
And so we had to invent a different way to monetize what the producers were making around here, because they've been pushed down into files, into brackets.
You needed to create a revenue stream to give more money to the producers. It's that simple.
So I made no money off of this ever. Never wanted to be in the business. Wrote a bunch of checks for a bunch of employees. Never wanted to be doing any of those kinds of things. Like, don't like math. Business makes me mad, and I know poison when I see it. And money is poison, and the way people get around it is poison. So we tried to split it up as best we could among everybody, and now it resides here, the company. We owned it. That was the beginning of the end for us at Disney. Once we'd negotiated our own, like my brother's own ability to make art and merch, like, that's the first conflict we had that ruined one mosque down here, because I was trying to throw parties with my brother that celebrated art and music and sports being fun. And so my brother had a merch store, his best friend, my best friend's, bedside for the last year with my brother. And what he wants from me, with something he birthed, because he never thought I trafficked in this lane enough. Dan, no, go make money. Who cares if you're a sellout? Who cares? Put your art on boats. You get to make a living this way.
This segment would get away from us.
No. This is why I'm mad, though, Mike. This strikes an emotional chord for me. It's not just merch. It's not just merch. And so we debuted last week, and Samson's handling this for us. He's handling the merch store for us. And I've avoided social media because it's been poison for a while now. And I've just been trying to get Angel Resto the ability to immediately make things live off of the show so people can enjoy remembering that moment. And we opened, and Angel calls me hurt. He's hurt because this thing, he's caretaking my brother's spirit. He's caretaking my brother's art. And that's what I've entrusted Samson with. That's the merch store. The merch store is not just another merch store. And so when I hear our customers are complaining to me that we're priced like everybody else, I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, we're following everybody else's model now? Now that we got to freedom, we're going to do it the way everyone else does it. And so Samson comes in, and I haven't talked about this part with him because he's doing his best. He cares about me. He's doing his best. Like, this person loves me.
He does, yes.
And he's doing his best to do this. And we debut, and all I'm hearing is complaints because we're in business now, and we're selling art. So, David, what happened?
Well, what happened is that you ruined my weekend by communicating with me nonstop at all hours of the day and night because you were upset that your fans were upset about prices. Your fans were upset about the selection. Your fans were upset. Angel was upset because there weren't enough of his designs on. People in the shipping container were upset because of the split and how it was going to happen, both financially and from an art standpoint. And you downloaded on me all of the problems, and you didn't take into account of what I had to deal with to just get the merch store up, because you built a company that is full of nothing but people who stop things from getting done. And most things don't get done at all. So you basically ruined my weekend. And then you asked me to be on the show this morning when I had a different appointment, and I promised you I would cancel my appointment. So I'm here. What is it that is bothering you other than the emotion of me not taking care of everybody properly?
No, it's because I want to figure out a way to make it so that everyone can be happy around the money, because our audience is always giving money to the causes around us. Anytime we ask them for money, it's meaningful. It's not like just, hey, give us $7 for something. The chief complaint that bothered me was how expensive things were.
Yeah, but
I did clean it up.
Yeah, you put David Samson in charge of the business.
Right.
And now you're upset with what David Samson did with the power.
This is what he does.
$10 shirts.
Great. Yeah. No, the prices are exactly where they should be. Should your stuff be more expensive than my stuff? Yes, you've got more fans. You've got a bigger audience. It's time to take advantage of that audience and monetize it.
Supply and demand.
You writing checks out of your pocket, why not let the customer write the checks so you can make more money?
Dan, listen to David Samson. It is time to take advantage of our audience.
What we're talking about here is the $40 T-shirts, right? They're $40. Is that what the...
Plus shit.
I'm asking. Complained on Twitter.
I wasn't looking on Twitter, and I actually thought that David Samson being in charge of the merch store was a bit until I just asked Mike Ryan, and he was like, "No, this is actually real."
He is.
A bit.
He is.
He's really doing it.
One thing that confused me is I know that we prioritize. I was involved with the last merch store that had plenty of options, but the customer service wasn't up to snuff. The quality of the shirts wasn't up to snuff. And I think from still images, people have made a snap judgment on the quality of the shirts when I know that was a priority, which is probably helping explain the price point. But I'm not going to speak for David. David spoke for David plenty here. Are there any upcoming pivots for the merch store? Is this what it is?
No, we're not doing it that way. What do you mean, are they upcoming pivot? We're not doing it that way.
I know, but you're surprised and getting mad at a man who sold Roy Halladay's no-hit ball.
Yes.
I mean...
Okay, because I'm not good at this part, and neither are you, Stugotz,
I
because
know.
you want all of the money.
Well, duh.
So, Samson, help me bridge this divide, because it's why they say don't work with your friends. Don't do business with your friends. Are you an idiot, Le Batard, doing business with your friends? Again, I will tell you, I can't have our customer base that supports us most loyally, David, than any customer base. It's how we build the way we do. It's because they listen for more hours than anybody, no matter what Spotify does to junk up the numbers. And they deserve it to be cheaper than everybody else. Don't tell me Barstool does this and Rogan does this. Like, I haven't talked to you about the specifics of how much this bothers me spiritually, because I keep getting told you don't mix these two things. Creatives can't do these things. And this is why, because you guys all f it up.
So let me address two things that, Dan, you need to change about yourself. Number one, the fact that you let business bleed into our relationship this weekend is extremely problematic, because this price points in the merch store is the tip of the iceberg with what needs to change at Metalark that I want to be a part of and do, that you've charged me to do. We've only just begun, Karen Carpenter. So if you don't have the stomach for a $40 shirt, then you may have a problem with everything else.
Knock the price down, David. Like, seriously, knock the price down.
No,
Mike.
You put him in charge, Dan.
$37.
Can we revisit the cut that the shipping container is unhappy about? Because this is the first I'm hearing about this.
Well, so listen to this part. This one's lovely. This one's lovely. If you want the innards of the business spilled in front of everybody, like this one.
Show it to me.
This one's gross. This one's the formula that had to be created so that all of these people could get their other extra money, so that Disney wasn't paying them, became the salary structure here so that they could make more money here. All in. Like everything they were making, all of the money, so that we could pay them better than Disney was with what that fucking merch store was, which was just a contrivance.
You're saying a lot of F words, pal.
You really are. Calm down.
Dan, I would like to point out that one of the biggest mistakes you made in forming Metalark is you paid people for things for revenue that did not exist. The merch store revenue wasn't there, but you were paying everyone as though they were getting a piece of something that was fugazi. And now what we've done is that nobody gets a piece of anything but you. And by the way, for you and how high and mighty you are about, it's all about the audience, you demanded it that way. You wanted to make sure that nobody got paid anything, except you wanted me to take the blame for it.
What do you mean
I'm
me?
happy to do it.
What do you mean
My
me?
decision.
No, what do you
I'm happy to do it, Dan.
No.
I'm happy to say to you, Jessica, and everyone in the shipping container that none of you are getting $1 from the merch. It's all going to Dan.
Wow,
But
proud of you,
what
Danny.
he does in return is pays all of you to work for him. So the money does flow to you, just not shirt by shirt.
Trickle down.
And in terms of
That sounds great.
Yeah.
We're happy about that.
Dan said he's bad at business.
I don't. I can speak for the shipping containers. We don't have conversations nor really conviction when it comes to the merch store. We just want Dan to be happy because Dan's fired up about this, and we want our fans to be happy. And I'm really
$36.
I'm really genuinely confused at us being confused at David Samson and his approach to business, given how well chronicled it's been down here.
I'm demanding it, is what I'm telling you. I'm demanding that we're lowering those prices. We're going to do it in the next segment. Like, in the next segment, we're doing it. I am so happy to see this man.
He makes me smile.
I mean,
and what a
for,
chair.
for a number of reasons. I mean, it's legitimately one of the great entertainers of our times, not just sports, for 30 years, and outside of Floyd Mayweather, maybe the best marketer in the history of sports, talker, seller of himself and confidence, and now aiming to be one of the big money coaches at the top of his sport that has more than four wins right now.
Yes.
More than 4 wins right now.
Also a top 5 smile of all time.
Yes.
I mean,
So, Dion, hold on just a second because I'm going to tell the audience without waiting another second. The promo code for the merch store, Samson Sucks 20, the number 20.
Okay.
Samson Sucks, the number 20. 20% off everything in the damn store.
Has nothing to do with Coach Prime. We're
nothing.
just doing house.
That's correct.
housekeeping
Separate
here.
promotion.
That's
Yes.
right. No, but he knows how to promote. So forgive me,
you
Coach.
should let him promote it.
Forgive me. Yeah, you're right about that.